Hello, everyone, and welcome to this segment of Let's Hear It for the Boys. I am your host, Jennifer Love Williams, and I am proudly sponsored by Reclaim Pride Coalition, and we put on the annual Queer Liberation March that takes place the same time, at the same time as the corporate version of Pride. Remember, the first Pride was definitely a riot. This installment of my quarterly panels, I want to focus on the queer side of masculinity. And with that, I have four amazing men that are Black and queer. And I love their stories, I love their journeys, and I hopefully you guys will love them as well. First up, let me welcome in Neil Hall Richards. Wait, to the
Good
audience, those who
afternoon,
know too.
everybody.
Lord Christian Bonet,
Hello, everybody. How y'all doing?
Seduction,
What's up, everybody? How you doing?
and Cedric. I never try to pronounce your last name. Gabadier?
No. No, that's not my last name. My last name is Jacoby.
Jacobe. I'm sorry.
Jacoby.
But ladies and gentlemen, and those in between, here are your panelists for this evening. I'm going to get right into this. First up, everyone say your names the way it should be pronounced and your pronouns for the audience.
Hi,
Let
I'm Neil Hall Richards, and my pronouns are he, him.
I am Christian Lord
Christian.
Bonet, and I'm Christian Lord Bonet, and I go by him and he.
I'm Seduction Davenport, and I'm him and he.
I'm Cedric, and I go by he, him.
Next question would be, how do you guys identify? Let me start with seduction.
How do I identify? I identify as a Black male. I don't know if I was supposed to go into further depth with that, but that's just how I present myself.
It's whatever you want to give us.
I'm a bliggity Black male. Yep.
And I thank you for sharing. Christian,
I go by bisexual black male.
Cedric,
So I am a male of transgender experience and a open and proudly pansexual male.
Neo,
And I am Neil, bisexual black male.
1 second. Uh,
I forgot to throw in there I'm a homosexual.
I can't.
okay. Um, let's discuss the intersectionality of being Black and queer. Let me start with Christian.
Discuss the. I guess it enforced with me being black and queer is kind of. I think I had to adapt to because at first I didn't come off or know that I was into males as much as I was into females, but for it's with just getting myself used to it and be able to identify who I am as a person and an individual, not just as being black or being queer, but just as a human being for loving or liking or being interested into the same sex or into the opposite sex or even being in the whole scene in the lifestyle. So I guess it was just very much of, yeah, um, get to know for us who I am myself. That was my insecurities and everything that I had to deal with.
Well, thank you for sharing. Let me go with Neo.
Repeat the question again, please. I'm sorry, the reception went in and out.
It's all right. Let's discuss the intersectionality of being Black and queer.
Intersectionality for me, I don't think they're actually separate entities because I am who I am, and I am that conclusively and inclusively. There's no real separation for me, but the separation comes from the outside perspective, which still has nothing to do with me. So I try not to focus on that. I just try to live my genuine truth and be who I am. I don't have to wear me on my sleeve because I am who I am regardless. But it there's a lot that comes with it. There's just a lot that comes with it.
All right. I thank you for sharing. Is there more you want to say? Or
No, not currently. Not currently.
all right, thank you for sharing. Cedric.
So with this question, it's a lot to it. When it comes to this question, I get told I'm doing too much for being out and open with who I am, my story, and how I share it a lot. I'm too much with it, where others will sit there and think like, I'm not like those. I'm not. I can't be like that. I'm different. And they try to sit there and be judgmental with it. Most of them be like, oh, you can't sit here and be, the black shouldn't be this way, or or some are trying to be like the whites and shit like that. It's just, first off, I'm not about to sit around you because you're insecure with who you are and I'm out and about. So we're not about to do all of this kumbaya shit. So it's always like a debate with someone's life. And like, I could honestly agree what the last person said. It shouldn't even be a separation where I have to perform differently as someone in the community who is black and also is queer. I shouldn't have to separate the two. I am who I am. But if you have to separate that because you feel like you have to align with what society wants you to be, then that's on you. But I'm not doing it because of you, because you got the wrong person. I can't do that. Like, I am who I am, and that's who I'll ever be. So ain't no separating, and ain't no sectioning my queerness because you're afraid to be queer outside and I'm not. I'm gonna walk down the street. I'm gonna walk down the street. I'm gonna be me. I'm gonna do whatever it takes to be this person, and that's what I did. I don't need to sit here and hide who I am. And it feels like some of the blacks have to hide this narrative. Okay, well, I don't have to always prove that I'm gay to let the whole wide world know that I'm this and I'm that, but not everybody aligns with you. So what do you expect? So everyone's different. So to me, it's just the differences that not a lot of people understand. Just because you're not open, someone else is, and I shouldn't have to sit here and hide myself because you're scared. That's just how I feel about
I thank you for sharing. Next up, seduction.
I just want to commend Cedric, though. I'll tell you, he done lit a fire. Man, I just feel like going to the corner store, just slapping the shit out of somebody just because. God damn it, I'm me. You feel me? But I can say my my origins are in the rural South. So, and definitely it was a different time period. It perhaps was not as accepting as it is now. Earlier on, I struggled with my sexuality. Like I tried some, I'm saying, I had the girlfriends, etc., etc. But then sophomore year hit, and once my eyebrows started looking better than the females that I was talking to, it just everything got real questionable. So, I eventually just became more confident with who I was because I started whooping ass. From an early age on, I was always the individual that was it was questionable or something was look in the South, they do this right here. So something was always a little off with me. And I didn't know how to embrace it at first. I knew I was different. I knew I had feelings that perhaps were not quote unquote normal or what others were experiencing at that um age period. But eventually I just became who I was, and I dared a motherfucker to say something to me. I started whooping ass. And from then on, I became a loner somewhat because I was just trying to find my path. And eventually, me embracing who I am, it brings people, it attracts people just by my comfort and me embracing myself. People who should or who are aligned with you or who can appreciate you, they come around. So that's how my story ran.
I thank you for sharing as well. I want to make sure that you guys understand that this is a safe space. And I need you guys to say it like you mean it, as Wendy used to say, because that's the way that I think the viewers will only truly connect. And one of the reasons why I chose you guys is because I felt that in private conversations with each one of you guys, past and in recent times, you guys have always um, been vocal and clear when it came to talking to me, and I hope that that projects to the audience. So there's no I don't need you guys to ever be PC. I need you to say it with your chest.
I was gonna say, okay, say it with your chest.
Now, as Black men, what are the fears when it comes to police and the dreaded Karens and Kins? Pause. For those who wonder, what do I mean by Karens and Kins? For the public, I'm pretty sure at this point in time that you already should know now that so many white people, especially white women, project their white tears, which most likely are false white tears, and have the cops come. And when the cops come, and most especially a lot of locations come, and it's a Black man, queer or cisgender and straight or trans, the cops come with a vengeance because of white tears, and often our Black men are killed on contact because they don't even understand what's going on. So that's the question that I'm posing to you guys. What are your thoughts and what are your fears when it comes to the police and the dreaded Karens and Kens of the world? Let me start with gas seduction. Take it away.
All right, for me, I of course I don't want much interaction in general. Just we unfortunately we all have phones. We all can see on a daily basis how somebody can be a casualty of this whole scenario. There's a new hashtag every other day. I can say for myself though, first of all, I avoid conflict at all chances, but at the same token, once I'm there, I'm never the person to back down. I can say I think I am my most gay in those scenarios because I feel like, and this may not be a safe thing, maybe it's just something internally or whatever. But anytime I come into those type of intersections, I shows my ass real bad because then I'm just like, okay, I'm a whole gay dude. You're not about to, so I go slam off. I will call them every name in the book. I will every the reading and all that extra shit. Like I whoops ass, not like a female shit. I'm just gonna talk hella shit. But as far as anything else, I whoops ass and then okay, I'm gay. Why he was fucking with me? Self defense. Like that's immediately what I give. And mind you, but I never start anything. I never initiate shit. So, by me doing the whole retaliation, that's just what it is. And then I play the gay card.
Fixing Jesus. Neo, what's yours?
Um, I know there's definitely an internal fear just because of what we've seen and what a lot of people have experienced and what is as a fear. I just look at it as a foresight into what is happening and what's around me. So people laugh at me when I say it. I'm usually incognito, not incognito, incognito, which means um, you don't really notice me unless I'm trying to be noticed. Even in those situations I've been a part of and around those situations, and I've been lucky enough or blessed enough to not have to go through or deal with any of the extra problems that go through it. But I'm also not the person to hide my hand, if that makes sense. It is what it is. I'm not going to back down from my truth. I'm not going to lie about me. I'm not ashamed of. Am I perfect? No. But I am who I am in spite of who you are. And at the end of the day, your perception is not my reality. So if you have an issue, we can handle the issue. I'm smart enough and educated enough to know how to handle myself in different situations where people will say, oh, you're trying to act right or be right, or in those cases, no, I'm an educated black man, first and foremost. And I know how to handle myself in any situation. I know how to talk myself through it and or out of the situation because I'm just not for it. Like Suggestion said, I'm not the person who's into drama and for the drama. And I'm also the person who's not going to challenge anybody for who they are. If you're an asshole, you're an asshole. That's who you are. But I know how to remove myself from situations that don't suit or fit me. So I've been blessed enough to not really have to actually deal or go through those situations.
All right, thank you. Christian,
Well, for us with that answer, I definitely can say there is a lot of fear when it comes to the police and the Karens and the Kens. As Neo them said, that I'm very much of just being myself. I'm very educated, and even when people do see me or they look at me and the way that I carry myself, they already think I'm kind of like the black type of kin because I've been around with the white people and everybody else very much growing up, private school and everything. So I definitely just know how to conduct myself and to be able to know how to maintain and think about the things that can happen or the things that I can just avoid if I end up working or to move in a certain way. So when it comes to police, I'm very much on aware for the things that goes on social media. Even with that, I've been taught for us with certain ways that I need to address myself for us with taking care of situations when it comes to other people that are different races or anything. I have not dealt with anything for as a racism, but I have seen a friend deal with racism right in my face. And just with me being there, I was able to help like minimize the whole situation just by the way I communicated with them. Like some people just don't know how to communicate. Some people just don't know how to project for us with their voices, for us with trying not to make any type of conflict that goes on. You just have to end up knowing exactly what type of situation it could be and how you can be able to handle it. A lot of us we can handle it in very much so mean in different ways if we end up thinking differently, but we think on another way, and that's why things go left or negative or bad or anything else in that way. I don't want to end up saying that it's the cause for other people to probably lose lives or anything else because they probably was just living their own life, doing what they normally do on an everyday basis. And you do have some people that just want to pick or want to be that type of person, just saying, oh, well, yeah, I see someone that I don't like or they're up in the wrong neighborhood or anything else in that way. I mean, you have those type of people out there, but you just got to know how to conduct yourself. And with me, I'm just kind of like a little bit in between because I grew up in the whole suburbs type of living and going to private schools, mostly around the Kens and the Karens and everything, going to middle school, high school, everything else in that way. So I'm kind of like in the middle of, I know exactly how it is when you're around those type of people and you just know how to be able to be educated and really think on your toes about how things can actually go and how you can be able to make positive out of negative.
thank you for sharing. Cedric,
Um, so with the Karens, I have sisters and I don't mother for that. I don't do all of that. It kind of makes me when I have to sit there and argue with a female. I mean, my mouth is vicious, and I really don't want to have to, sit there and disrespect a woman like that. And I try not to. I will be as polite as I can with a woman. But if you are trying to tussle with me, Karens, and you're because you're racist and you try to attack me, That's when I have to get a female figure on you because I just don't do that. Like I never hit a female. I never will hit a female. And most of the Karens, the way how I feel, kind of polite to me, but then you have the ones that are kind of snotty, because how they feel towards black individuals. So I don't really have an issue with the Karens. I don't really bump heads with the Karens like anyone else does. I say, if a Karen comes my way, I don't even like to say it like this, but from the public freakouts and how psychotic they get on people and they do things, ugh, it's too much. But as far as cops, I don't, hmm, I don't really like cops like that. You know what I'm saying? And my biggest fear is when it comes to the cops, I feel like I don't have a freedom of speech when I speak to them. Because if I speak, I feel like I'm going to be arrested or them, try to pull out a gun or something like that. And I don't be having anything. I don't have anything for you to feel threatened about. We just having a civilized conversation. You stop me. You want to bother me. You want to harass me as an officer. So why can't I speak and tell you or ask you any specific questions without you thinking I'm going to pull a weapon out within a split second so you could blow my brains out? Um, and that's my biggest fear of getting killed, even by the voice of freedom of speech. But other than that, I don't care about the Karens and get the hell about them. Fuck them.
Thank you for sharing. This next
I'm
question,
sorry. Sorry, Jennifer. Before you continue, I just want to make a statement when it comes to the Karens and the police and things of that nature. We as under the umbrella of LGBTQ, African American, Black,
The camera keep freezing.
okay.
being the
Um,
natural thing,
I don't know if you can hear me,
going
but
through.
you're gonna have to say that again. You're
I,
frozen.
okay,
Talk
I'm sorry.
again.
I was
Start
saying,
again.
can you
Uh,
hear me now?
no.
I was saying we as a, how about now?
Try it again.
Yeah. Can you hear me now? Can you
At
hear
this
me?
moment. At this moment, yes.
Okay,
Yes.
I was saying we as a community, whether it's under the LGBTQIA or
I think it's his service.
Yes, babe, we don't have you. Or we keep getting this that phrase, very first part, and then it keeps cutting out. You want to put it in the chat and I'll read it? All right. Um, in the meantime, I have another question that I really didn't ask you guys, and I kept this question away from you guys until this very moment. This question is for all of you. And as you know, across the country, there are so many laws being put into place that that's stopping and making illegal the art of drag. That's taking bodily autonomy away from those who can birth, as well as places who are taking away the true meaning of Black history and wiping it from the books and school learning. What and some places even children are being forced to be outed to their parents and gay itself. What are your thoughts when it comes to that? Whether you deal with it in your personal youth yourself, whose phone is that? Yes. Um, what are your thoughts on that? whether it's happening in your location or not. This is when we always have to pay attention to what goes on around us, because you never know where you may end up or where your loved ones may end up. And what happens in one location, you may not think it happens to you or will happen to you. But as we are should be learning slowly but surely, there's so much that's happening, that was happening in the far deep south, in the Midwest, that is slowly happening to us on the East Coast, whether we know it or not. So, what are your thoughts? Do you need me to repeat what I said?
Yeah, repeat that one more time.
Okay. As you may know, in recent times, well, shit, within the past year, there are so many laws being put into place that's preventing the art of drag, making it illegal. That is taking bodily autonomy away from people who can birth. And I'll get to that part, that specific wording in a minute, as well as critical race theory, so to speak, or the elimination of Black American history, such as slavery, mainly slavery, as well as outing of the youth who identify as LGBTQ plus IA. They are being forced to be outed, even here in New Jersey, by teachers and stuff. What are your thoughts on that? Even though it may not personally affect you, what are your thoughts of that? And who would like to start? I'm giving y'all free reign. Raise your hand. Who wants to start? Seduction.
As first of all, just the climate in general that we have right now with society as a whole, we seem to be in a regressive state. All the progression that we have made, there's entities that just keep trying to retract it. And I don't know if you all are aware, but how they've passed laws now that have made any form of homosexual activity or identity illegal and punishable by death in a country in Africa. I'm not sure if it's Ghana now. Don't quote me on that because it may be wrong and I'm giving wrong information. But it's a country in Africa and it's punishable by death. And they are persecuting one person as we speak now, their first offender. But we tend to, and that's just as a whole society. If it don't affect you, mind your business, turn the other cheek. But if it's happening one place and if there's injustice for one, there's injustice for all. Surely, slowly but surely, it can and perhaps will make its way to where we are. Then, of course, down south with the Santos, and he's trying to erase everything. And the only thing not the only thing, but one of the things that I definitely detest as far as being, because before I came to the conclusion that I was a same gender loving Black male, I was a Black male first. I feel all the disparities and all of the things that everyone in the Black community feels. For whatever reason, they feel the need to. We can't identify as a Black male. We are cast away and we are in our own separate situation. But by default, it's us versus them to the power. So we are fighting the same battle. And then times like with it, because there was somebody who had spoke not too long ago. It was like one of the BLM marches and whatnot. It was a gay person marching with them, and they are literally marching for injustice. No life is more important than the other. And or I'm not sure if it was a transgender person or it was a person that identified as LGBTQ got attacked at that march. So for
Mhm.
whatever reason, they don't think of us in the same as a human being and a human being of the Black experience. But with that being said, they think that the problems and the laws that are trying to be placed as far as the LGBT is concerned, that they could just turn the other cheek. We are just the first stop on the train of them trying to take away and persecute right before they get to the very next one, which is the people of color, the females and the males. And so it's just a trickled on down effect, and for whatever reason people don't acknowledge it unless it personally affects them.
Well said. Cedric, I thought I saw your hand.
Yeah, so I'm not going to say a lot, but I will sit there and say that I don't know why there's laws on our lives where we should be able to be ready whenever we're ready to come out is whenever we're ready to come out. I don't agree with the schools forcing and doing all that extra kumbaya shit. That's unnecessary, and I feel like the parents need more speaking. To only it's causing to be traumatizing for everyone in in the unity. So our community is just traumatized with so much, with all these laws being applied onto our lives. Where why can't we just live our lives the way how we want to live our lives? You know what I'm saying? Like it's just too much. And then all this drag and all this protesting about drags doing this, doing that. Listen, drags are amazing. They're fun. They are positive influencers. They just show out. I'm not expecting to force that on a child. You know, children are young, so they wouldn't really know as much. But we don't also want to make these kids think different as they're young, because nowadays these children are being a little, you got children that being grown folks' business at a young age, and then they hear that and but I just feel like everything should not have a law on it, and it's just ridiculous. It's let everybody be for once. Like instead of putting a law and making things legal, come on, really? You're that bothered with our presence? Really? Just let us be. Just let us be. I'm not gonna say no more.
Paris, move your camera over. Keep yourself. Everyone, keep yourself centered into your screen. Yes. Thank you. Now let me before I go on and let Reggie and Neo answer the question. I want to reiterate what Neo was trying to express to us earlier. He wanted to say we have to learn as a community how to defend ourselves without being defensive, because we are already stereotyped as angry. And hopefully within his moment of talking right now, I'm gonna have him answer the question. He'll be able to explain what he was trying to convey or was conveying. So take it away, Neo.
I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for this, but I really don't care because the truth is the truth. I'm tired of people saying Black Lives Matter and don't feel that Queer Lives Matter. If it's good enough, if it's not good enough for somebody else, it's not good enough for you. If you have an issue with somebody else's life, your life does not. If my life doesn't, neither does yours. And unfortunately, education, love, understanding, respect, all that starts at home. Now, everybody doesn't necessarily listen to it, but it all starts at home. Am I bothered that they're trying to take away our rights? Yes. Does it affect me? Yes. Am I going to allow that to change me? No. Because at the end of the day, you don't have to like me, nor do I have to like you. But you will respect me because I'm going to respect you. And if you don't, I don't have to be in your space. I don't have to be in your area, but you're not going to stop me from doing what I have to do. That's the general synopsis of it. Philadelphia 30th Street.
Okay, thank you. Christian.
The only thing I have to speak on it was about the laws that they wanted to put on the drag shows and for us with the community and on us. The thing I think about is because I knowing how they want to say that maybe the drag queens and the shows or anything else or RuPaul Drag Race on TV, all that type of stuff will influence kids to become gay or liking the same sex or want to dress up in drag or anything else in that way. I really don't believe like that is something that somebody can affect upon another person. I do remember when I had to do research that I really do believe that some of us were born to be the way that we are. And it doesn't force take the community to turn us into being gay, lesbian, anything else in that way. But it's very much of what we feel in our hearts or what we feel just naturally for us as a kid or to being as an infant. If we know that something is different, we can tell it. The only thing that's hard about it is the community makes it hard for us to be open about the whole being gay or being in the community or anything else in that way because of the shame and the bashing for us with the laws or anything else to make it seem like, oh, it's wrong. But then it's just life. It's a part of life that each and every one of us have to live. And it's just as a person that can be mentally challenged or can be disability or anything else in that way as birth. I mean, like we're not forced with sick or being some type of creature or anything that's going to be pushed to the side, though we still are human, so we still have to be taken care of. We still got to be respected. And for us, like Neo said, no matter how much you end up to put laws or anything else upon us, you're still going to have to respect us, and we're going to stand up for us our respect. And even if you try to take things away from us, that's why I can say about even with our black community, when though we not having like the white communities or anything else or the establishment and have their own, we're going to still build our own. And we're going to end up continue to do what we need to do for it ourselves. So even if you take it away from us, we're going to find a way to still do it. And that's the only thing that I can say that does bother me. It's not about for us with the community or what we can do on a child. Like I raised a 7-year old and I still not going to say that because she sees me or a grandfather or anybody else or parents, friends being in the LGBT community, and we just putting that up on her. I mean, like you live your life as you want to. You decide if you want to be into a female, then be into a female. If you want to date a male, date a male. But for us, with how we live our life, I can't say, or no one can say that that's what we are influencing our kids to be, and that's how I feel that's what the situation is. It's not for us where we can influence into anybody. I really think that we are positive influencers because for us with drag and the shows and everything else in that way, I believe we saved a lot of lives. We saved each other lives. We saved our own lives. Hell, I can even say for us with it help save my life because if I end up feeling like I didn't have anything else, I know that my gift and the things that I project on stage or in my craft is what's important to me. So that's why I end up having to stay for that.
And then
Thank you.
I'm sorry. I would like to add to that because I'm just so sick of everybody under the sun. Their main argument and their main justification for them trying to put limitations on our community is that children are so impressionable. No, the fuck they're not. I was a child once, regardless how much hetero shit that was bestowed upon me and that I was subject to, I still grew up to want to suck a dick. So they're fucking lying. That is not the truth. That, and I'm sick of them using that. It's a scapegoat. Then on top of that, as far as drag shows are concerned, is there not an age limit? I don't understand what 3 and 6 year olds are going to be at a drag limit. And then at that same token, if they are present, that tends to be at the discretion of the parent. So if a parent was comfortable enough to bring their child to a drag show, which is not a drag show, the drag shows that I'm accustomed to, they are not vulgar. They are not, well, I mean, yeah, the language may be vulgar, but as far as, seeing something like a sexual act, that's never happened. Then on top of that, all the statistics point to name me one massacre that happened that was at the fault of a drag queen. I've never known somebody to be performing on stage, a drag number, requesting tips, then bring out a rifle and shoot everybody there. That didn't happen. That was due to the home terrorists that we have of a certain demographic that is the one that's claiming that we're doing this and that to the children, all that, but we have yet to be at the hands of a massacre. That didn't happen.
I thank y'all for expressing yourselves. Do y'all have a problem with me speaking on that topic?
No, go ahead.
Okay. Um, the reason why I kept that topic from you guys was that I wanted you guys to not be prepared for it and just answer it and say it with your chest. So the only way I knew that you would say it with your chest if I blindsided you with it. Because I sit here and each one of you brought up a point that I actually say on my own. And one was I remember when the whole Black Lives the BLM movement became a hashtag, and then the young lady got attacked, and her getting attacked in my own city when we were doing protests, it made me question, should I go? Because I didn't have the capacity to possibly have to worry about a police situation going left because I'm being present for my people. And at the same token, being present for my people, have my people whoop my ass because I'm present. So it left me baffled and struggling inside that um, it seems like the police hate you because you're Black. You're going to treat me as any other Black person, but then my own Black people, which I am. It's the one thing my parents knew from the moment my mother found out she was pregnant was that my father knew that his wife and him were about to inspect a Black child. If nothing else, they knew that their child, they didn't know boy or girl, but they knew their child was going to be Black. And when I'm with my own people, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. I'm a disgrace. Keep in mind, the main ones who are telling me this, I'm 9 out of 10 times more educated than you. For the Black men who have told me that you slide into my DMs, or I have financially and physically helped your baby mothers raise your sons and daughters. But yet I'm still not good enough to be a representation of Black queerness. I mean, of Blackness, and happen to be Black queerness. And then you have the queer community itself. The Black queer community has to struggle, has to fight, has made a lot of things prevalent, and by a lot of things of queer culture brought to the forefront. However, my white counterparts, cis and trans, get all the glory from it. Nevertheless, not to bring more division, when I sit here and I'm also asked, why do I give a shit about bodily autonomy? I can't birth. Bodily autonomy is more than just birthing, and why I used the term earlier about people who can birth, because that whole foolishness that went on a couple of months ago, that a Black female comedian that I had a lot of admiration for did what Black people typically do. We saw a clip of something and we reacted. Instead of seeing a clip, it make you feel some way and go search to find the whole damn video. Finding the whole damn video, you would also understand that trans men can birth, some trans men can birth, and some non-binary people can birth. You don't have to like anyone, but you should respect everyone. It wasn't when the young person had said that statement that they said it wasn't about trans women birthing. She was giving respect to the other people, such as trans men and non-binary people who birth. And you took it and ran with it, and the Black female community, cis and trans, ended up in a whole damn social media argument of foolishness. All that time and energy wasted on a non-factor topic when we got bigger issues to fry. Keep in mind, for all of those who can birth, and right now you live in a blue state, be prepared, because if you get a damn red governor coming in the next elections, guess what? They may ban it there too. And then what you gonna do? All that energy was used displacedly. And get your asses out there and register to vote. You're never gonna get people that look like you and that are you in office if you don't get your asses out there and vote. Okay? With that being said, let's go on to the next topic. Some of you guys are male entertainers, male leads, and some are social media influencers. However, you guys are all still male entertainers of some sort. I want to talk about that. And let me start with the more quieter one of the group. Christian.
Yes.
Let's talk about your male lead and male entertainer persona.
I can go for. I'm gonna start off by what I created him from. I created him because I I grew up into the whole entertainment thing. I did school plays. I did Alabama theater arts and all that type of thing. So I didn't even really know about too much of this side of entertainment until I ended up going to the first club with my first boyfriend, and I was kind of like, okay, I can do that. And someone overheard me, and I ended up getting into it. So it became something that just something I was just used to. Val Forrest with my persona, everyone took it as he's the quiet one, but he's very much got a lot of sex appeal. So they took me as the I want to say exactly what they called me back in that time. They called me like the quiet angel or the sexual angel or something that way. They kind of like give it a baby face, but then he have so much sex appeal. And I just end up taking it as okay, well, yeah, I do look younger than my age. Very much uh, am the quiet one. I do take that very strongly because I mind my business and I don't be in everybody's face. So I just be to myself and stay reserved. And when it comes to the shows, I just took it as, oh, I get to wear costumes that you really can't wear on this type of play or on this type of stage, and you can't wear this when you're at home. You got to be behind your door because if your mom will see this, she's gonna be like, "Oh, boy, what you doing, stripping?" And I was like, I don't want to be a stripper, though I can be a stripper or I can be a go-go dancer. But this gives me almost like the high minimum of being a little more reserved and more classier. So with my persona of that, that's what I end up taking on to that. I want a lot of people to actually understand that though I do give sex appeal, I'm not trying to be a stripper. I do not want to be giving everything to everybody because it's not for everybody to know. That's between me and my mate. Anything else, but I'm gonna give you enough because you're still gonna end up giving a good show, or you're gonna still get a good show. For us, where I end up giving. With me and who I am is Reggie, and for us with Christian Young is very much different. Reggie is very much of that quiet person. I'm reserved. I'm staying to myself. I don't be in nobody's business. But if you be in my business, then you're gonna get the business. But when it comes to Christian Young wants to be more reserved, wants to be approachable, very much to have that sex appeal that's kind of like oozes out or whatever, and come off flirtatious. But then I have respect for myself and for others, and it's just about the communication I end up having with my people, and that connection comes with a lot of people for us with male, females, um, trans, anything else in that way. But I just take it for us where that's who I am on stage. When social media, I just want to be very much of a positive person. I don't like negativity. I don't like the bashing or going against each other, anything else in that way. Sometimes people ask why I do not do ballroom that much, or why I don't kind of like too much of the whole questioning or competition and stuff. I don't like competing with another person. I'm myself, and whoever they are themselves. I don't like to compare myself to anybody else because I know that they can't be me and I can't be them, and I don't want to be them, and they should not be me because one thing about it is that I don't know what you had to go through or to deal with to get to this point, and you don't know what I had to deal with or go through to this point. So to try to be like you or to follow you or anything else in that way, I don't want to be in that way, but I can be able to pick up certain amount and then meet in the middle so I can still know who I am at the end of the day instead of following behind somebody else's footsteps. The only footsteps I want to follow is mine and God. So that's the only thing that I will end up saying. I want other people to understand too. Follow your own footsteps. You can pick up a little bit things from certain people, but you gotta still be yourself.
Thank you. Next, let me go with Cedric.
Um, so I like social media, I'm not gonna lie. But at first, I didn't get into the whole social media thing until like when I was 13. And I used to see a lot of people like myself that would do a lot of vlogging on tracking their journey or sharing their story of who they are. So I was like, okay, can I do this? Um, am I prepared for what's coming for me if I put out what I'm about to put out on the internet? It all started with um, figuring out how to increase confidence. And I've dealt with insecurities. So I mean, insecurities with go on my Instagram and see all the pictures. I didn't have that confidence like now. I don't think social media did it for me, but it was just something about when I started to show more of who I am on social media, um, and seeing like positive feedback from people who are coming across my platform or something like that. It made me feel good too. So it also made me believe in myself. I feel like when I do these TikToks about my journey, and I do TikTok and I have been doing YouTube. I want to get back into it, and I've mostly been on Instagram. And I tend to show my story, all my surgeries, my body figure, my mindset. You know what I'm saying? From and then the same thing on TikTok. Like I do a lot of trans-related stuff. Like I want to be able to be a positive influence to those who are struggling. So that's what mainly my content um, creation is about. Not sitting here deflecting and being homophobic or disregarding people. No, it's all about uplifting and seeing me be this way, being that happy on my platforms. Um, I'm able to give out the confidence and sharing my confidence with anyone who is struggling with theirs and giving them the strength that they need. As especially as a trans person, you never see a lot of trans individuals be have any type of support, whatever surrounding they came from. So it's like me giving that out socially is it's a blessing because I didn't have that back when I started my journey. So I tend to really show myself out a lot, like from body, like I said, from body, from tattoos, from everything. Like I document who I am. I tend to take pictures, you know. I'm spiritual, so I share it all. Like I want people to understand that you're not alone. You know, I've been through the struggles with my mental health and everything. So social media actually helped me like really be myself too. But it took a lot of encouragement from social media to also say, okay, well, I can do this. And I don't need social media for clout. I never did my transition for clout, and nor did I do it for chasing. I don't need it to chase anything. Social media is a second optional thing that you need in life, and that's something I've used to share my story with anyone in this universe. I mean, it's clear as day. I'm open, so I'm like an open book, and I want to be open with everyone, especially the people who are still in the dark shadow. Um, so yeah, I've shared information and everything, and on platforms that I'm usually on. So I don't sit there and cross anything out. Like I'm out there and I'm shining like the sun outside. So I'm always posting. I'm always on it. You know, I don't do it for fame, but I do it for me. You know, so yeah.
And the community thanks you. Let me go with hold up. Neo, is yours do you feel sound to talk right now?
Are you able to hear me okay?
Right now, yes.
Okay, so first I would like to say thank you to Cedric for the last thing that he said. It's not done for public opinion or anything else. I become an entertainer casually, but I continue entertaining for me. Being an entertainer on any level, whether it's male lead, I've been an exotic dancer, I sing, I act, I do a little bit of everything. I do those things because that's my out to the things that I don't really get to express or say or do, or as a black woman are allowed to feel in my everyday life. And I'd also like to say to the population at hand, even an exotic dancer, a male lead, social media, it's not, stop looking at people as a stigma. I'm not a stigma. I don't get in front of people because I'm craving their attention, because I can get attention walking down the block doing nothing. I don't do it because I don't have to do it so I can have access that are out there because most entertainers, a lot of entertainers, I'm not going to say most, a lot of entertainers are in relationships, do have partners, do have everyday lives, but people only see them in the light that they see them. If an exotic dancer, or they're just trying to make money and be a whore. If they're a male lead, if you're a male lead who can be naked, not completely naked, but in explicit costumes, or you're doing that because you're trying to XYZ. No, I'm doing that A because I can, not because I have to, because I can. And B, it's my form of expression. And too many times people will enjoy your entertainment and condemn you for being an entertainment. And that's a big problem that I've experienced. Even as far as dating as a whole, since I've started, people love my personality. They love how I am, how I act, the things that I do. And then I got into relationships where, oh, I love you, but I don't want you dancing. You met me as a dancer. I love you, but I don't want you to, I don't want everybody in your face. I'm an entertainer. And what I need people to take away from it, not just my personal experience, but I know a lot of people who go through that. If you deal with somebody who's in that quote unquote lifestyle of life and they still chose you, that actually says something. Because for an entertainer to be around all these people, and basically so many athletes that didn't have to engage you because you're not a part of their lifestyle. There's a lot of things that happen that you can't actually attribute to because that's not part of your mentality or the things that you do and the things that you want. But you have to respect the person for their moral and their quality, not their moral, their quality, their character, not their job. Because again, it's a job. For me, as a male lead, even when I was an exotic dancer, when the clock stopped, so did I. If I'm dancing and we're out at 2, I'm on my way back home by 2:30, 2:40. And that's only because I have to wait for those extra things that are happening. So being an entertainer, I'm never going to be ashamed of. I love it. I enjoy it. I appreciate it. And the light that comes out of me when doing so, I know it's a good thing because people express it to me when I don't even say it to myself. I've been told many times to see you on stage, to see you so alive, and the light that's inside is bright. And there's so many people who I've helped in their personal life because they saw me living my life authentically, in spite of anything else. Being authentic means a lot, will always mean a lot, and nobody should diminish their authenticity because of someone else's insecurity. But I enjoy being an entertainer. It's taught me to do a lot of things. It's got me a lot of places that I probably wouldn't know about or see or do. And again, I got into entertaining as a kid. My chosen family are entertainers for the most part. When I came in to sit and drink in the bar and have fun. And then I saw another part of life that I didn't know about. And I took a chance and dabbled into it. And this is 2023. My first time entertaining was in 1999, 2000. But the gift that God has given me has allowed me to have the longevity in it, and I wouldn't take that away for anything in the world.
Thank you for sharing. Lastly, Mr. Bonet. No, you went first. Oh shit. And you know the crazy thing is, I kept you last for a reason, and I forgot. I
Oh,
know
well, I
why
think
I put
you
you
know
last
what,
for a
and
reason.
one thing they did say, I am going to chime in about before is with social media. I'm not too big of a fan of social media that much because I think that a lot of people take in for is what you say very much personal. I mean, like you definitely want to end up being a good role model for us with you being an entertainer. But with me, with social media, I still try to be myself, but then I don't be more too much involved into it. You probably see me just post for us where my work is, and then I'll just go on. But anything personal, I'll try to keep to myself. So I guess in with social media and then with me being an entertainer, I just do what I need to do for its work, for my personal life and everything. That's always on the back burner because I just try to keep that separate. Um, I have my reasons because it's very much people want to find a way to just to want to know everything. I want you to know of me, but not about me too much.
Well, thank you.
Can I add something?
Wow. The ever so seductive seduction.
Cedric had a question.
Oh, go ahead, Cedric.
To add something small, but it's very small.
Go ahead.
Regarding to this question that you just asked, usually when people tend to like someone, and when especially when they're doing any type of entertainment or social media content or just being a content creator, people assume right then and there, I'm not sure about that. He do too much for me, or she do too much for me. And that's how people look at it when they see pictures of me, and it kind of reflects on if I want to be around this person or not. So um, when I do these things on social media, I don't do it to attract people. I don't do it to get attention from people. I don't do it to say that my transition was a clout and a foundation to draw more fame and attention. Um, and I don't, and it's always coming from, honestly, it comes from a lot from either the blacks, and I will say it like that because it has been, and then it's coming from people that know someone that knows of me. And I just want to put it out there. When I do my content, I don't try to offend nobody. I don't try to sit there and hurt anyone's feelings. I don't interact with negative comments or anything. I just show my ass proudly. Um, and I like that I vlog about my transition. I like that I sit there and take pictures and everything about them. But I don't want to sit there and be called that and being told that I am one of the bunch that does it for clout. Just wanted to put that out there. That was a part of my answer for that question. But everything about me is all about, it's all about, you know, just showing nothing but positivity and just helping the other ones who are struggling to be more strong and brave, because at the end of the day you are loved just like myself. Whether people don't like you or not, fuck them, and keep shining like the sun outside. Seriously.
Let me say something for the public who's watching this now and who those who will watch it later on. Clearly, I follow a lot of trans folk um, within the areas of TikTok, for example. Cedric is one of the few trans folks that has a good following. This man has never, at least that I've never seen none of his posts, asking for money, asking for donations. And when you see it able to let other trans folks, especially young trans boys and trans men, see a big brother, someone who's approachable, someone that I can talk to, and is out of pureness. For those who feel that Cedric's content is for clout, I'll show you what for clout is. Because for clout, Cedric ass would have been sitting here putting up a cash app saying, "Oh, I'm going to stop posting until y'all start sending me a cash app." He doesn't ask for that. He lets you see the talents of him being pure himself, let you see him smoking his hookah, let you see him while he at work, busting it out, making sure Uncle Sam gets his damn cut. He lets you see him cutting hair. As a licensed barber, also, just so y'all don't know, so anybody need a haircut, hit Cedric up. And I thank you personally for not being like the true clout chasers. You do this from the heart. And I thank you for that.
Appreciate it. Much love.
With that being said, I want to give the ever so seductive seduction the floor.
Truly though, didn't have much else to elaborate on. Neo put it so profoundly and so authentically, and so like he literally said everything that I could have aspired to say. Um, it's definitely an outlet because this is like I have participated in many forms of entertainment, be it acting, be it podcast, be it radio, be it adult work, be it dancing, be it shit, art, culinary. Like I think, well, as far as the LGBT community is concerned in general, I believe we're some of the most creative, most resilient, most inspiring people that there are, because in spite of everything that we face, in spite of judgment, persecution, whatever, we find a way to take that and make it into something beautiful, whatever the product may be or whatever the art form may be. um and I definitely everything that you do has a reaction. It has its pros and its cons, but as far as the things that I have taken on, I wouldn't change them because they have awarded me to meet people that I would not perhaps have met, you being one of them. I've got to see places that I never would have seen. I like, because as far as when I have gone back and visited home and stuff, the people that put judgment on you or say you ain't living right or have any form of judgment, they have not been to the places I've been. They've not seen the things I've seen. They've not experienced the things that I've experienced. You're still there casting judgment, and I'm living life. And I'm very grateful and very proud and very happy that I have been able to experience as much as I have experienced. And I have an open mind that will allow me to be susceptible to experience different things and not just what you quote unquote think is right, because right keeps you very limited. I believe that, as far as religion is concerned and things of that nature, I believe there are forms of oppression. Now, you ain't gonna impress me, my little gay ass. I'm gonna be somewhere doing something, and not something that's against whatever. It's just me wanting to experience life in its entirety, and its I don't know the word I'm looking for. I'm gonna say some wrong shit, make up something. But either way, I just want to experience life, and I'm we're only here for a very short time. So I need to jam pack as much shit as I can, and I'm very grateful. God has given me gifts that I have the ability to capitalize off on. Other bitches capitalize off shit that they do. I know that one of mine is entertaining, be it expression in my body, dancing, whatever. I'm very grateful. A few people in this world find it entertaining. So therefore, it's not. I don't think I'm doing something that's so wrong. I am using the gifts that were given to me, and I am using them to work for me as an outlet, and in fact do something positive with them and live. And I'm happy about it. And I'm happy about the one thing, regardless of what I do, I can go to sleep at night and be happy, and with a clean conscience. I know I treat others the way that I wish to be treated, and that's what counts to me. And so as far as the occupations that I choose, and if somebody's too dumb to not be able to be with me because of them, then that's their loss, and they're not aligned with me, and period. Move on. But yeah, I literally couldn't expound too much as far as what Neo said. It hit it like a nail on the head.
So let me ask this question. I did forewarn you guys about ahead of time this morning. Well, at check-in. What are your thoughts for the people who view you, for the mini splendor of people, the vast variety of people who view you for as purely sexual beings? Let me go ahead, Neil. You can start.
Thank you, thank you, and thank you. If you view me as a sexual being, regardless of who I am, and you finance your views to my pocket so I can be the person and the man that I am, I'm not responsible for your thoughts. I'm not responsible for the things, your inklings, or what you want. I'm responsible for me and how I handle myself. And if your thoughts make you want to finance me to do what you think I'm gonna do, that has nothing to do with me, but I'm grateful for the change because I got stuff to do for real in my real life. So thank you.
Okay, Paris, take it away.
Stop
I'm
letting him
sorry.
answer.
I'm
Stop letting him
sorry.
answer.
I'm sorry. 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 Sorry.
because he
Sorry.
It's it's
Sebastian, take
fine
it
because I've
away.
done it's fine because I've done so much shit. We were talking about entertainment, podcasts, and radios and shit. They know my real name, but at the same token, stop letting this motherfucker answer first because he keeps saying everything I'm gonna say. He getting on my nerve.
he very much did it.
Okay. Cedric.
So as far as what I said, because as a sexual being, I'm pretty much am a sexual being to individuals in the community. I'm not a sexual being to myself, but I will sit here and say that I get looked at because as far as the pictures I have on Instagram with me and my male briefs, the thong briefs and shit like that, I have pictures like that, and I'm not ashamed of it because at the end of the day, I should wear the fuck I want to wear. Um, People look at me as a whore for one, a whore, or oh, why you got your ass out like that? Or they think I'm messy, um, which I'm not even into that messy kumbaya stuff. People look at me as a fetish, but I'm not going to say too much on here because that's not, I have so much for a different question that relates to. But I feel like anybody that comes up to me for sexual needs and shit like that, it ain't giving that over here. Sorry, I'm not one of those. I'm not one of those. I will never be one of those. I will be one of those for somebody I'm in a relationship with. That's it. You coming to me is wasting time, and I don't know why. And I'm gonna have you having blue balls for days because you asking me for one thing, and it's not working over here. But as far as this question, yes, I'm looked at as three things: a baby, obviously, and I'm sorry to say it like that, and my looks. So yeah, I am a sexual being in society, and that's just how I feel about it. And as far as what people see as pictures, oh, that's him. He looked like he'll give it all. If he, no, I'm not. I'm not that type of person. Trust me, you'll be blocked and dismissed. I carry myself very well.
Thank you. And you don't have to be sorry. They'll deal with it.
He thought,
What did it for me to finish with the bubbles? Did I let you put a stamp on it?
okay.
I mean, bling, you know
What
the
I just don't understand as far as this whole uh, question always poses, who the fuck are all these non-sexual people? First of all, you need to be sexual to procreate. Then second, everybody, if you lucky enough, you have sex. I don't understand why it's, for the people who wear it on the forefront, it's just so woo ah. Like the fuck?
Mm,
Go ahead, Christian.
Usually, the people who say something have an issue with the fact that they can't get it from you. So they want to read you for it or have something to say.
that
The entire time while they're
that
wanting and
explains.
desiring and pushing, oh, it's okay, you're wonderful.
Well, I like
That,
watching it all, except for that one in the box under me.
I'm
which
That's
one
for
is
Chuck. I don't
Christian.
want to watch him. I'll watch the rest of y'all though. Y'all not my kids. No.
that?
Go ahead,
Oh yeah.
Christian.
Well, I identify myself as a sexual being. Why? Because I mean I'm attracted to myself. I am confident in myself. I worked hard on my body for us with going to the gym or eating right, anything else in that way. I'm not the biggest muscular one, and that's what I always tell myself. I'm just humble. I'm not the finest one. I'm definitely not an ugly person, but I am me. And when it comes to being a sexual being, if people want to end up taking it that way, okay, well, that's what your thoughts are. But for us, what you think that may happen is not going to happen that way. I very much do sell sex or give a fantasy or to do a great performance on the show. But then a lot of people do approach me and they thinking that, oh well, if I speak to him or I talk to him, that's who I'm going to get. And that's what it's going to end up being the action that we're going to end up having if we end up speaking to each other. But I tell people like if you want to get to know who I am, it's gonna take being outside of this club or outside of this show or anything else in that way because I'm very much different than who I am on stage. You are fantasizing the person that you see on stage and you're thinking that's what you're gonna get on stage. But when we are out of here and I leave that person in that closet or at that place or anything else in that way, I become Reggie. And it's very much of a whole different scenario. I mean, it will go in that way when I'm with my lover, or if we end up going further on to that place of dating and talking, and then in the bedroom, anything else in that way. Yeah, you may get that, but other than that, it's kind of like with me. A lot of people do approach thinking that, oh, that's what they're gonna end up getting, and I'm not. That's not gonna happen, and I have to be very much comfortable with a person, and I have to know that you are not just going to take care for us with me financially, sexually, anything else in that way, because I can do it all to myself. But if I feel comfortable with you and you making me feel safe, and that's the person that I know and that is taking the time out to really get to know who I am and respect my wishes, respect for us with what I'm trying to have in my life, respect my past for us with making sure that none of that end up enduring again. And as I will protect them, I mean, that's who I will end up further along going to the mile with. But for us, with a lot of people that just see me and everything, and from a show, no, it's not gonna go that far. Like, thank you for supporting me. Thank you for your tips. Thank you for anything else in that way. I'm definitely grateful for us with that, because it's very much helping out for us with Christian have thing going on. But if anything else they thinking that's going to happen, no, that's not going to happen. It's not going to run that way. You're gonna have to definitely respect me, and I'm going to respect myself firstly, before anybody else just can come around and thinking that's what's going to happen. No matter what outfit I have on, how much I take a picture for us, with I dance on you, anything else in that way, it's not going to happen that way. Whatever happens at that time, that's where we left off at.
Well, I thank y'all for sharing. I thank y'all for sharing the physiques that you guys earned. I think the women and the days out there as well. The one of the most important things that everyone needs to understand who are looking at these gentlemen and others as purely sexual beings, understand that you only get one body. I don't care if you gotta tweak it or not. You only get one body, bitch. And if you don't love it, how you want somebody else to love it? So show them bodies off. If you get a buck out of it, get a buck too. I'm just saying.
Big fat, whatever you is, like, if you feel comfortable, show it off.
Now, this
I love
next
confidence.
topic is going to be a little more sensitive, and I hope it's not to offend anyone, but you guys were prepared. What are the relationships like between yourself and your biological family? Let me start with. Well, he said don't start with you first no more. So let me. I just was choosing him because he's on the train. So let me start with. Let me start with Christian.
Okay, my relationship with my parents, coming out was a little bit. It was kind of funny because I had to beat the punch before my ex friend tried to like tell me out. But then it was very much of, oh, you're not gonna tell me that you don't like girls anymore, or you're not gonna have sex. So it became something that was had to be comfortable to them, because they have known of me being with females. They have seen me around with dating on the females, bringing them around family events, stuff in that way. So took them a while to end up doing that. But coming from a Christian home and everything, my father was very much of, hey, I love you for no matter what you are or what you decide to do. You know, love is love. And he very much opened me up with open arms and be able to accept me for who I am. And with my mother, is very much of, I respect you for what you want to end up doing because you are my child. But for us, with the lifestyle that you do pick, I wish it could be a bit more better, because I know where I look for you to live up to, or something that I want you to be. And for as anybody in my else in my family, they really don't really take it that way, because no matter how much these people want to end up saying, "Oh, well, how can you end up saying that?" My families don't really know that I'm like out or I do too much. They just know that, hey, I entertain. They do not do anything of the judgment, and they accept for us with just loving me as a family member, they loved one, the person that they grew up with, they raised, they babysitted, they see anything else in that way. So I at first I can say my insecurities was with myself, because I kind of was doubting myself. But when I ended up opening that door up, it was showing me that it was a lot of love that I have received from it, because of the love they just had for me. They may not love for us with the lifestyle, but they loved it because of the love they had for me as that person that as their family member, their child, their nephew, their cousin, their brother, sister, anything else in a way. Like that's where I get my relationship for, and I really love my family for that. I do feel bad for a lot of people that do not get a chance to do that for their kids because they don't know exactly what they're missing out on. Because when my mother was able to really like take that time out to understand me and my art form, she saw a little bit more of the gift that she was just shocked for us with, oh well, I didn't even get the chance to really realize that because I was so much closed off on it. But now that she sees a lot of things, she always, my mom was the first one that actually told me that we can be able to get married and everything. She called me at 6 o'clock in the morning. Said, oh well, hey, did you know that you can get married now? I was like, well, yeah, I know I can get married. No, to a man. And I was like, oh, okay. So thank you for telling me that. But but yeah, it's just they love me for because of who I am to them, and I respect that, and I just make sure that I do want to make them proud for what I do, and definitely I know that they want to make sure that whoever I am in love with or be encountered with does take care of me as much as I'm going to take care of them because once they're gone, that's what their fear is going to be of who's going to really take care of you if you end up giving your life or everything else to the people that may not care about you the way that your family does. And that's what I definitely like want to make sure that I have intact before anything else happening towards the parents or anything else in that way. I just want to live my life in the right way for them.
I thank you for sharing. Your mom sounds like my mom. That's what she says every day. You need to find you a good husband because your dad is already good. My dad passed away, and she's I'm already old, and your brother has a wife, so I know he got somebody for him. Who do you have? You need to find
Yes.
you somebody.
She's
Like
like, I
stop
want you to get a
recognition.
wife, but I know that's not gonna be your thing. But get somebody that's gonna respect you and they're gonna love you for you and not gonna disrespect you or do anything else. Like that's her main thing. Like if she feels like somebody is not gonna be that, she just like just remove yourself. Don't even ask no questions. Like if they don't already have that in their mind and their heart already, because they are my family knows that's how I am. I do things because I don't look for things in receiving. I do things because that's what I like to do or that's how I feel. So my love is very much unconditional for us with people that are close to me. So when you get close to me, you get the world for us, whatever else it be. I don't care what people can say about me, anything for us, with my connection with that person, that's what they're gonna get.
Thank you for sharing. Paris, damn it! Sorry, seduction. Take it away. What is your what?
um, I had a trying adolescence. It wasn't predominantly because I was gay, but that definitely wasn't a helping factor. But I was liberated at a very early age. I've been doing me since 16. So I had to find my own way. And with my tedious uh start, that's what kind of helped guide me into the realm that I did. It was more for survival purposes. Um and at this point, it's not a actual conversation or something that's at the forefront. Me and my mother, we have a very my first of all, my family's very small, but me and my mother, we have a very, I'd say, transparent relationship, but to an extent, we are very open and vocal about our feelings and family matters, etc. But as far as my entertainment life, um, there's not too much said about that, and I'm actually comfortable with that. I think I would be uncomfortable if it was a great deal of dialogue about that. And my mother, she's a college educated woman. At this point, you can Google me, so I'm pretty sure she's well aware of shit. And then back in the day, like I used to have flyers on Facebook about appearances I was making at different clubs in different countries, etc. So I'm I'm pretty much 99.9% that she's sure, not sure, but aware of things that I may have partaken in. But my mom has always gave the same rhetoric of as long as you're happy, safe, you're not hurting anybody, I support you, etc., etc. So, but that's
Hold on. Neo, mute yourself.
everybody on mute. But
Continue.
but aside from that though, that's and I actually received, it was not too long ago, it was recent. My mother, she gave me validation that it really touched me and it really made me feel even more confident about myself. She just more or less reinforced what I had just said not too long ago. She was like that I've seen places she's never seen, and I've accomplished a great many things that she um aspired to do, that I have done, and I did so. It happening in that way. And she said that she was very proud of me on account of those things and the people I've come in contact with, and the connections that I've made. So that was the validation that I was very grateful to hear, and made me very happy and proud of myself. And with that being said, again, my family is very small. It's like 4 to 3, 5 of us type situation. So as long as she approved, the rest of the world can kiss my burnt almond ass.
Mm.
Come on, Bert Armin.
You so almondy.
Right, yeah, it's the burn on.
uh, okay, I'm gonna call on you next, Leo. But let me repeat the question for you. What is your relationship between yourself and your biological family?
My relationship with me and my biological family at this point is actually really good. Of course, it started off rough because there was something new and it wasn't something that people quote unquote accepted or understood. Sorry for the noise in the background. But honestly, my relationship with my family is good. They're supportive. My aunts and cousins and stuff who know what I do as far as an entertainer. They support me. They love it. I send them all the footage. My mother has come to support me in competing in pageantry, and she's come to my shows before. So I've been blessed that even though history is history and life is life, I still have a supportive family who, at the end of the day, even when they don't like what they do, they love me enough to support me to make sure I do the best at what I do.
Thank you for sharing. Next up, Cedric.
My relationship with me has really, really have improved since I was 13. 13 years old. I didn't really like myself at all. Like, I didn't really have, I didn't really like, I wasn't a big fan of myself. Like, you know, and so being, and so as I'm growing, I guess it was like a phase where I've really had bad insecurities when it came to me, my identity, the looks. I was struggling with my weight. Um, you know, I didn't really have the best person in me to be the person I am today. I'm guessing when I struggled with my sexuality and my identity, and then confirmed it, it made me it slightly I slightly started to adjust and within me, where okay, um, I'm now like male, so it didn't really have like the best effort at me. I didn't have the encouragement. I didn't have none of that. I didn't have a push to start. I didn't have none of that. And being in high school, I was in a I was in an orbit where it was like back in high school was so negative for me. So the relationship back then with me was like horrible. Like I really didn't like myself. I hated myself. As far as now, um, I love myself. I will say that I never knew what self love was until getting to know myself as I grew, as I'm growing. So, as much as I'm growing, I started noticing a difference in my personality, my ego. As age arrives differently every year, I just started noticing different things. And one of it was just becoming spiritual. I was never spiritual. I didn't know what the fuck that was. I didn't know what that meant. Um, I didn't know anything about mental health, so I never gave a shit about my mental health. And so I went to therapy and had some flaws within me before being this authentic human being. Um, I've always had suicide thoughts, and I've always had just those type of thoughts, and been in sticky and sick situations with individuals that made me feel like I wasn't who I am and less than who I am, or shouldn't be on the planet Earth. So the relationship with me today, I stand very affirmed with it. I have a beautiful relationship with myself, and that people can't sit and take. The confidence in my visibility is powerful. So I have the best relationship with myself now because I've came so strong in this, and brave within me. And I think the relationship with my family, it was definitely like something that they thought was a phase of how I started transitioning, and didn't really, mostly my mom, but my father, I really can't say too much because, he don't care. He just want me to do good in life, and he's worried about is safety. That's it. Because we're in an aura where we still have assholes around, where they'll sit and pick and choose if they want to fuck with you, if they see you by yourself and stuff like that. But as far as my biological family, my parents are adjusting to me now, which is a blessing. I just let time do its job when it comes to my transition. I don't force. I don't sit there and neglect my parents. I don't disown them. Yes, they are currently still misgendering me, but there's a reason. It's a transition within them as well, and I let time do its job. And I love the both of them, and it's going really great with my biological family. The really most important and supportive individual in my family is my twin sister. She's been standing very affirmed. She was actually the first person I've came out as a male of trans experience, and I've ever since then I've never had any hate towards me or neglect or any type of any fucked up interactions with her. um, it was mostly my mother, but like I said, she's adjusting to it little by little, and I see it. Um, and it's a learning process for parents, I mean, even though she's not open to talk about it, and not too much about my father. I mean, at the end of the day, I could accept it as who I am. I'm still living in their household, and all they can say is, "We're not like them other families out there that would really neglect their one of their siblings, throw them out the house, kick them out the house." So, I'm kind of lucky, and I'm kind of glad that I don't have to be in that space or that situation, even though it's heartbreaking here. But they look at that, and my father looks at that and says, "I couldn't do it to my child. I'm sorry." At the end of the day, it is what it is. You are who you are, and that's all I get from the bull. I mean, I'm accepted either way. So
I thank you guys for all sharing. And Cedric, I kept you last for a reason. I wanted you to build up your tolerance. That's all.
hey, no problem. Much love.
You know I love you. Um, the next question is still about family, but a different kind. For those of you who have a chosen family or a family of the life, talk about how it came to be and the importance of them to you. And before I pick on a person, for the community, who the watchers, viewers, when you hear the term chosen family, it does not mean that you're chosen, you're the special family over the blood or biological. It does not. It just means that you have some internal struggles that everybody's not walking around with biological LGBTQ plus parents. And parents can be allies and down for their children, but you will never know the internal struggles of a son who knows that he's a woman, or a daughter who knows that she's a son, let alone a son who loves other sons, or a daughter who loves other daughters, or a person who doesn't want to be in the binary spectrum at all. You would never understand what that feels like unless you are there. And that's where chosen family comes in, because they help you with that extra layer of life. So it just becomes more of the village. It takes a village to raise someone. It just becomes more part of the village. So don't ever hear the term from anyone and say my chosen family and ever feel like, oh motherfucker, bitch, I've been here for you all these years. No, that's not taken away from you, auntie. It's just more people to help love the person. So I'm gonna read the question again for those of you guys who have chosen families. Tell how they came to be and the importance of them to you. Um, Let me start with Paris. Damn it! Let me start with the question.
That's accepted at this point. But nah, mind you, my origins start out in Jersey. They right in Hoboken. I was working for Harmonica Sunbeam, and I was at the Cage, and there was a lady there who unbeknownst to me, she was Harmonica Sunbeam's makeup artist. And I was upside down on my head doing something strange for a piece of change. I'm just showing out. They playing music. I'm going ham. I'm going slam off. I seen this lady come tip me. I mind you, we upside down. Like so. She said, "Who is you? Where did you come from?" She was like, "You are doing shows. You are you do you have a mother? You need a mother." And I was like, "Oh, okay." Like mind you, many people when they see you performing, they give you admiration or just excited. So a lot of people say all kinds of shit, but you just take it with a grain of salt. You get your cash and you keep doing what you're doing. So she had invited me to hang out with her, and come to find out we didn't work too far from each other during our day jobs. We both worked on Fifth Avenue. So we began hanging out with each other really close. Mind you, I had absolutely no idea that this individual was part of the life. So the more we hung out, I was realizing she was real up on gay lingo and shit. And I'm just, and then, the this, the that, and the trade and the butch queen. I'm like, hold on, what the fuck is going on? What, ma'am, what are you? Like, I really didn't know what the fuck was going on. So come to find out, she was a transgender woman, and she had adopted me as her child. But literally, from the very moment that we had our first conversation, when I was upside down on my head, we are inseparable. And to this day, she is one of the most positive, one of the most nurturing, and one of the warmest presences in my life. And I'm so grateful for her. Deja Davenport, she is truly my chosen family, and my family away from family. As I've stated, like my family, they reside elsewhere. They be either on the other coast or down south. I've always been me, myself, and I by myself up here in New York. Um, Times where I may need to confide in someone, or times where I may need guidance or suggestion or wisdom, or just a warm shoulder, that nurturing entity, that mother-like figure. She is so maternal, and you would think that the way, like, of course we have our kikis and fun and whatnot, but as warmly as she embraces me, and she has never steered me wrong, not one instance, not one day of my life, you would think that she actually birthed me. And I'm so very grateful. It's very hard to come across, regardless of what you want to call them, who, where, what, any person that you meet in this world that gives a damn about you and means it sincerely, you have already won. And to have her in my life and to pass on such wisdom from things that she's experienced to help me and motivate me and give me encouragement. And she does so not only through her verbiage, but through her actions as well. I've seen this lady manifest everything that she wanted to do, and has done it and is doing it. And I'm so very grateful to have a force in my life like that. So that's my chosen family. I don't, and mind you, I have brothers and sisters all over the world. I'm not comfortable with. I don't want children. Children is not a thing. Parents aren't a thing. Like if we close and we've been rocking with each other for years, okay, that's my bro. That's my sis, whatever. And I'm comfortable with that. I'm comfortable with peers. But I will never acknowledge somebody as, because I hold my own birth biological mother in such a high regard. I would never acknowledge anybody and, oh, this is my that, except for this woman, because she has been that to me. And that's the only gay chosen family that I have, aside from our circle.
I'm over here talking. I said, all right, Christian, next. But before you answer, another thing, disclaimer for the public. Sometimes some people in the community have multiple parents, and it's not to take away from the biological or from the chosen mom or dad. Some also have ballroom parents because they're into ballroom. Um, some also have pageant mom and dads and drag or show mom and dads. So it's layers. It depends on to what you're into, but you then mostly everyone does have a mom or a dad of life, and then you have show, pageant, ballroom. So, and if for those of you guys moving forward in this question, if you have more than one, you can explain who they are and the importance to them to you, because I need them to see a full spectrum of the community, and I know that you have more than one. Christian, take it away.
Yes, I do, and I love all four of them to death. Um, yeah, when I first started out, I met Armandis Bonet in the club where he walked up to me and he was like, "Well, I gotta go back. Oh, because I can't forget her. Oh my god!" So my first mother, um, I was used to be at the club where I was just talking about my first boyfriend took me to, and I was hanging out there, and this girl walked up to me and she was like, "You are very much respectable. You always put together, and you don't be in no mess, anything." She was like, "Who are you?" And I just told her my name, and she was like, "I already seen you in this club, but I didn't know who you was, but I just had to introduce myself." And her name was Naima Mays, and at that time we used to hang out and everything. And for us, with her guidance around, just like how Sincere said, it was very much of she kind of like gave me that motherly love that I was like, I did not know who she came from or what this is all about and everything. But okay, I'm feeling where this connection is, and I say I could not forget about her because she did pass away, and that was one of my very much close friends, my guidance, my everything from the beginning to always still in my head now. So that's definitely one of my hearts. And she was one of the friends of Armandus. Armandus walked up to me and he ended up introducing himself. And he was like, wanted to know who I was and asking for us when we can be able to hang out because he just sees something into me. He wanted to help me out for us with guidance. But then I really thought about it and I was like, well, I already know you. And he was like, you know me? I was like, yeah, we met like a year ago and we were just trying to for us being friends, but then we just lost connection and we end up just building up our friendship again, and it just was very much strong, and it's very much strong when we knew that our parents knew each other, where his mother and my mom kind of knew each other because my mom used to sell insurance and she used to sell around for us with around his neighborhood. So that's how my mom knew his mother at that time. But then our connection really came up more than just being out or anything else in that way. Like our connection very much of a spiritual thing. Like I don't even know. He don't even have to ask me what's going on, and I don't even have to ask him what's going on. If we look at each other in our face, we just know that something is going on or something is very much to rejoice about or anything else in that way. We have that very much of a spiritual type of bond. And that's been like my father for 16, 17. Yeah, I think about 17 years. I think this year in December it will be 18. So we very much have been like friends, and that's been my father for a very long time. When I ended up losing my first mother, Naima, I ended up having Trinity as my second mother. But at first, I was kind of like, I'm just getting into the new city because I just moved to Atlanta and I don't know people too much like that. So I'm very much cautious of who or who and how you actually can connect with me, anything else in that way. So it kind of took a minute. So by that time, I still had that friendship that was kind of like building up with um, actually my guidance. I can definitely say that Micah is my mother for us with real life drag, coming for us with pageantry, anything else in that way. When it comes to that, stays in my ass. Anything else that goes wrong gonna be in me, and kind of like very much took that place where I was kind of like missing where I had Naima at that time, and that's when I ended up taking her in as well as my first, second mom. But then later on, Trinity very much was teaching me about the shows, very much drag and stuff in that way. So I very much end up being around her a lot. So that became like my drag mother. First thing that came up forth with shows and all this type of way. And even though I say that, she gets in my ass too. But she's more of that fun type of mother. Like you go to her and then you're gonna end up instantly having fun or be able to enjoy yourself. And with me having that difference, it's very much of I have like both worlds. I can be able to still end up having a mother that can be able to have fun and be able to talk shit with and all this type of stuff. But then also a person that can just say, hey, you got to get yourself together. Think about real life and everything else that goes on about yourself. And I do get that from both. But then I grew up and I ended up having a third mother, and that's Tasia. Tasia and I, we worked together, we lived together, everything else in that way. Kind of like doing shows also. But then it was just one night that me and Tasia really had a very much of a like serious conversation, and it was storming outside. The lights went off, came back on, everything else in that way. And I think, I hope she don't kill me, but that's the first time I ever seen Tasia cry. And knowing Tasia is a tough cookie, don't play no games, anything else in that way. But for us with that, for somebody that can be that vulnerable and really took me in and made sure that my safety and anything else was very much on the same level as she would think on her own, it was very much of that connection from me and Tasia. So I do have three mothers. I have one father that's always been in my life. I do have godfathers, Dantes, and I have Ian. I do have brothers and sisters, anything else in that way, but and my grandmother is Raquel. I very much keep a connection with her. She's on that spiritual life. Also, when I realized I needed a church home, she took me to my first church home. And that was very much important to me because I grew up into a church and just being in a new city, I couldn't just sit around and not have any way that I can be able to call my spiritual home. And she was the first one to introduce me to that. So I do have basically I have like everybody else, and my Raquel has been around my family. Armandis have been with my family. Tasia has been with my family. Micah has been around my brothers and my cousins. So they very much are connected. They know who is who all that I deal with, be around with, communicate with, talk to. And my connection comes from if I end up can see you on the same level as my real blood family, and you are respecting me, guiding me, teaching me, and just protecting me the same way that I do with you, and definitely how my family does. That's where my connection comes from. I do not like it when people want to say, "Oh, you're sickening to me," and you very handsome, and you're this, that, whatever, or you see this person can get a name for themselves, then you want to become their child or you want to become their parents, anything else in that way. And with my family, it was none of that. It was very much of genuine, unconditional love from each and every one of them, and I love every last one of them. My parents loved them. They always asked for Raquel. Everybody, they asked for my dad all the time. Like my family and my extended family, very much on the same level.
Well, I thank you for sharing. Um,
I'm gonna just add one more thing too. It definitely makes a difference too, because a lot of times when you have tried to incorporate a family down south, or somebody tries to adopt you, it's always usually along the lines of incest. They try to do some other shit. So when you
Oh,
come across genuine people that have your best interests at hand, that makes all the more difference.
yeah. Because I did not want anyone like that. I know I had a couple of people
Because that's
that wanted
a lot of
to,
bitches try to claim they wanted
yeah,
me to be they this, they that, but you
want
were
you to
trying
be
to
this,
fuck.
and then they they very much doing that with other kids or anything else. No, you're not gonna do that with me. I don't do it with my real mom or dad, so you're not gonna do that with me as an extended parent, because I don't see that's how you can do the respectful
Hmm.
things or want me to respect you or to see you in another way when you are
See,
doing certain things in that
see,
way.
it's very much see that shit you pulled in the kitchen. I let you walk away and get yourself together. But let me let you know one mother.
I think there's a, I think in all honesty, there's a lot of
Yes.
people of the life that have a disdain for the chosen family or family of the life because of that very reason. A lot of people are under the impression, and I remember when I first came out, ballroom would have been my entry to chosen families and stuff. And hold on, one quick question. Neo, are you about to pull into the station
Yeah, he froze.
Um, I can you hear me?
right now? Yes.
You can hear me now?
Yes. Do you want to take a
Okay, let
stab
me
at
jump
this?
in quick because I am going to be pulling into this. Yes, first let me apologize. I'm coming in from a work trip, so the reception's bad on the train. But as far as my extended family and my biological family, for those who don't know, Jennifer is actually my mom, my extended family mom. And the relationship between my extended family and my biological family has been good. At my step down from Mr. Renaissance, my biological mom was sitting right next to Jennifer, and they were able to bond. Um, I've been blessed enough that the people in my life, and the love that they have for me extends past me. It extends to the people who are affiliated with me. And I've been blessed that thus far that my extended family has come to my house with my biological family. We've gone out as groups. We've been able to do that because at the end of the day, your family is the people who love you. And the people that I've been blessed to call my family love me enough to love those who are extended and attached to me because they know I'm not going to allow people in my space, in my circle, in my life who aren't meaning or wanting or wishing the best for me. So I've been blessed thus far.
Um, hopefully this doesn't cut you off. I had Brother Cano Christian has multiple mothers and dads. And I know I don't want your other mothers to feel like I didn't give you a space to acknowledge and your dad the importance
Well,
of them.
let me do that now. Let me do that now while I still have reception. Jennifer Love is my gay mom, my chosen mom. Jasmine Danwell, Lady Jasmine, as most people know
I don't
her,
like her.
is my drag mother because she taught me how to emulate drag to a level that is more than just the words that you say, the lip sync, it's knowing the beats and the undertones and everything else. Deja Richards is my pageant mom because she's the one who's guided me and really held my hand and walked me through pageantry, made sure I knew what I needed to know in order to succeed and do my best. And Simba R. Hall is my pageant dad as well as my gay dad because he also helped guide me through male pageantry and guiding me through making lead. So I do have multiple parents, but they're my parents for different reasons, not necessarily my parents and their craft, if that makes sense. Jennifer Love was my mom because of the love she has for me. Lady Jasmine became my mom because of the emulation of the art form of drag, not just doing drag, because drag is an actual art form. And Deja and Simba has guided me as far as pageantry.
And just to make sure it's better for clarification, because many years, maybe like about 9 years ago, he made a post, and someone had questioned how the hell you got so many mothers, and he broke it down. He had his biological mom, then he had his gay mom, which was me, and then he had his drag mom, which was my sister Jasmine, and then he had his pageant mom, which is my other sister Deja. Keep in mind, me, Deja, and Jasmine have always been. So the fact that your other moms are also my sisters, and everybody serves a different purpose. I service everyday life for the inner core. And of course, I'm the original too.
That just means he a spoiled ass little fucker. He got all these folks around him. The fuck.
We
I
got
do
it.
baby him though.
Good. We got it good.
Yeah, so I am very confident, and it's even a better feeling when you guys have a family of chosen people who serve their purpose. However, when everybody gets along, because some people just be in catty situations, but that be that house hopping shit, that family hopping shit, because you there for the wrong reasons. Like, even
Oh
though
yeah.
these others serve their places, understand something. When I come to Georgia, a lot of times his biological family picks me up from the airport, whether he's with me or not, to make sure I get to my hotel safe, right? And that's just love. And I think I have that with all my children. It's not like, and trust and believe. I've embarrassed the fuck out them at times. Okay, I've had my battles with drugs, and I've had my battles with choosing the wrong men and losing my mind over these men. And I let a man even have him ass end up going to prison. But my babies have stuck by me, and when you see me make these posts that I am the woman that I am, it's because of them. So trust me, it's just much love as I pour into my children, including the baby. They pour so much more into me. We have family vacations. We have family dinners. If y'all think what y'all see posted on social media, just imagine what you don't see that we don't ever post, because it's just, we need a reboot, and we need to build each other up and hold each other accountable and make sure that we go off into the next week as better human beings, knowing that we have a team, which is us behind each other. And I think that I think when I fell at a point in time, it was because I didn't trust my children. It wasn't that I didn't trust them, as like, I trust them with my life. I didn't want them to see me as being weak. And I didn't know how to convey that. But I didn't know how to convey that, period, to anyone. And now I'll tell them in a heartbeat, hey, let's hop on the road. Last week, me and him just took a road trip. Hey, we need to get away. Let's go. There's no posting. We just hopped up and just bounced.
Look. I'm realizing now though that I'm a distant cousin. I only come around for birthdays. Hmm.
But you're getting an invite to Thanksgiving.
Okay.
But you always have an invite. You don't need an invite, actually. Now, Cedric, what are your views on this topic?
I have a chosen mother, but it's cordial. I think you know her. She was like Tabitha Gonzalez.
Yeah,
We did a video together on YouTube. I love her still. I'm gonna always love her. We had our ups and downs, our downfalls, and shit like that. She's a great positive influencer for our sisters out here. She stands up with our sisters, and I love that about her. A big feminist, I see. Um, you know, I don't have nothing against her. I don't have no beef, nothing like that. And I see her, I show her nothing but love and respect. Um, whatever happened in the past is the past, and I don't align with what happened in the past. She was there for my recovery and my hysterectomy. Um, she was the only person I could talk about, and talk to, and like I said, she is a positive influencer as myself, and to uplift other females, especially the upcoming who are newly transitioning. And I love how she does her big one in the community. And that's who I will always say that my chosen mother. Um, Nothing against biological, so I just try to keep it short when I speak about her. I don't want no messy shit going around. Oh, he said that he did. Nah, not like that. I show nothing but love. That's all. And
I
she's a,
get it.
she had my back from time to time. She's the only person I could vent to. Um, you know, so the relationship is not as strong as it was, but I will always say that she was there for me when I was recovering. Like if anything I needed, um, that was regarding surgery recovery, she was there. Like, and I love that because um, my sister was like that too when I had top surgery. So I really can't speak on biological family because this is somebody that was close to me. So I always speak about her. She's dope. So yeah.
Well, I thank you for sharing. And yes, I know your mother as well. That's another one of my sisters. With that being said, I kept you guys way too long, but I wanted to get through all these questions, and I thank you guys um for making a time and a space to share your heart, your history, your ups and downs with me and the community, and just being a amazing representation of Black queer men. I thank you.
Thank you.
With that being said, no more questions. I want to give each one of you the opportunity to plug whatever you need to plug. If you got any upcoming show or shows, if you have any pageants coming up, you're going to verbally say your cash app, you're going to verbally say your names, you're going to verbally say your social media handle, whichever one is most prominent to see you be most visible on. And when you say it, please say it, spell it, say it, spell it. Okay, now we're going to start with you. Seduction.
All right. Just first and foremost, our visibility counts, and I thank you for giving a highlight and thanks for having me. I definitely appreciate it. It was an insightful conversation and it was fun. Um, you can always find me on Instagram. My name on my profile on Instagram is Seduction69, and how it's spelled S3DUCTION 69. Again, that's S3DUCTION 69. That's the only thing I'm on. Facebook is for the family whenever I see a cousin's birthday or some shit like that. And then you can always catch me around. I'm shaking ass for cash somewhere. I'll be at a pride event near you, a club event near you, something like that. But I'm around. I'll let you boy.
I'm going to hurt you. Let me go ahead and let Neo go because we may lose him again.
No,
Okay,
I'm
this is your
back in New York now.
opportunity. This is your
I'm back in the New
opportunity.
York now.
Okay, this is your opportunity to say your show whatever you got coming up. If you got a pageant, your cash apps, your social media, the social media site that you are most prevalent on. Say it, spell it, say it, spell it.
Okay. Again, I'm Neil Hall Richards. That's NeoHallRichards. Neil Hall Richards on Facebook. If you're looking for me on Instagram, I actually have two pages: model_addiction, MODEL_ADDICTION. Or you can catch me on my professional page, which is Hair Technique. For those who don't know, I specialize in natural hair and protective styles for a living. So that's HAIRTECHNATE, all as one word on Instagram. Um, Again, I'm a professional hairstylist, but I also do male lead entertainment as far as pageantry as well. And I actually am getting ready for a pageant. Most people didn't know, but I guess I'll put it out there. I'm preparing to compete for Mr. Sweetheart in February. So if you'd like to donate to my cause or help support that, my cash app at the bottom, but it's $NATE3681. That's Nate 3681. Again, it's $NATE 3681. I'm a New York boy, but I travel the country, and those who are looking to see some great entertainment, get at me.
Hey.
Okay, next up, Christian.
Well, hello everybody. I am Christian Lord Bonet. and that is spelled Christion. Again, Christion, and that's Lord Bonet. You can catch me on Facebook. That's my legal name, Reggie Johnson, Reggie Johnson. So you can catch me up on Facebook and on Instagram, C_LORD Bonet. So that's going to be C_Lord Bonet. And yeah, you can catch me on each and every Monday at the start of the century at the Heretic. Showtime at 11:15. Each and every week we are doing openings. We have a pageant that goes on for our closing. Very much have a good fun. The show has been around for many, many of years, and we are bringing new faces, bringing new things going on. And so have to check us out when you're in Atlanta. Also, on Thursdays, make sure you check out with Prime Time. Prime Time is each and every Thursday at Showtime's at 11:30 at Mix Atlanta. You can catch me there. Sometimes I'm there probably like twice a month, but I'm always posting it. So you can catch me on my social medias on that time. I have a pageant coming up this weekend. I am going out for being Mr. House of Royal. So if you're in Atlanta and you want to see me capture that title, I will be in the building trying to capture that. And I think I have a pretty good chance if God is, well, God is always on my side. So if things are in my favor, let me say it in that way. But yeah, I want to say, Jennifer, thank you for this opportunity. I definitely wanted to be my authentic self. I know I'm a quiet person, but I do like to have fun, like to speak out freely and to be myself. Don't want to be anybody else but myself. But the ones that do know me, hey, I'm here and we'll see y'all around.
And I thank you for being here. Lastly, but damn sure not least, Cedric.
So you can follow me on TikTok, Cedric Cedric Zero. Sorry, that is spelled Cedrix 0. Once again, this is TikTok. Cedric Zero is spelled Cedrix 0. My Instagram name is Cedric B, and that's spelled Sedrixb. I'm gonna say it slowly. Sedrixb. That's Instagram. And also, you can definitely check out my hair cutting page on Instagram as well. I'm gonna spell it twice. It's Jamal Cuts. It's JAHMACUTS. That's once again JAHMACUTS. That's if you want to see my work and let me know what y'all think. And I'm all for it. I'm here. You know, and my YouTube. If you definitely want to see what my journey is about, um, wait 1 second. I have my phone in my hand. Sorry. Um, my channel is Jama TV. It's spelled on YouTube JAHMA TV. Once again, this is YouTube JAHMA TV. And basically my YouTube channel is about, vlogging my life and updates on who I am. So you can definitely check that out. I will be starting to go back on YouTube soon. And those platforms I usually am visible on it. I always show my ass with no gives to fucks. So if you would like to support and show love, um, yeah, it is what it is. I love it. I love when somebody shows me support. So another thing, I do want to put this out there that I am coming out with a beer line for any other brothers who are so insecure with trying to grow out their facial hair or want some type of facial hair on their face. That's genetics, but this product is natural, no chemicals, everything is homemade, and I'm ready to drop this out. I'm been at a couple of groups about it, speaking about it already. I have been doing my little sales here and there, so I want to make this worldwide, and I want to start bringing this out. Um, so yeah, that launch is coming out soon. It's being worked on by me, and so I just wanted to put it out there. This is my product. It's got rosemary oil and rose butter and anything that got something to do with, helps with, skincare, and hair care lines. So that's what I'm doing. So I've been on the roll and stuff. So, but I appreciate you for letting me be here, sharing who I am and telling everybody who I am, and hope this really makes everyone as confident as well.
Um, Once again, thank you guys. And let me give it up to my sponsors, Reclaim Pride Coalition, who sponsors and puts on the Queer Liberation March. I thank them for having me be a part of them, and I thank them for allowing me to always be able to be visible and allow me the space to always have the panels of my choice when I want them. I thank them. Remember, the first Pride was a riot, and anyone looking to volunteer and be a part of Queer Liberation March, we are a for you, by you, anti-corporation, anti-fuck the police type. Well, we are fuck the police and we anti-police. We all of the above, and we all for bodily autonomy, trans lives mattering, and Black lives mattering, and making sure that we all are heard and visible, and that we say fuck everybody who's not with us. If you ain't with us, you against us. So hopefully I'll see you guys all in June. And remember, the first Pride was definitely a riot. Enjoy your night.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.